Welcome back to another production vlog. Today I'm going to feature a corporate event that I covered just recently. It involved me using my ultimate gimbal rig. Why do I call it my ultimate gimbal rig? Because it saves my tail time and time again. It is loaded down with a V-mount battery. It will last hours. Also, I use an EasyRig Vario 5. That's what's sitting there on my back, hanging over my head. It will save me because this was a 4-hour event. That's a lot of coverage, but this gives me flexibility to move quickly, be adaptive, and get steady footage. I could track people with it, and I can move from one place to another unobstructed. So it makes it really, really good for events that are kind of unpredictable, that you don't know what really is happening. They always have schedules. Schedules go out the window. So this gives me that ability. If you see how smooth it is right now, this footage was slowed down 2.5 times on this timeline. It's a 24 FPS timeline, 2398, and you can see how smooth it is. In a moment, I'm actually gonna show you this footage where it's not slowed down in real time so you can see how nice and smooth it is. This is at 70 millimeters on the Sigma 24-70. So you be the judge. Is it smooth? Also, there's going to be footage from the event. The 60-second highlight video that I did from this event is going to be in this vlog. So you'll see it momentarily, but also the full breakdown of the gimbal setup and why I choose to do certain things to make my job easier. I don't want to be changing batteries constantly. I don't want to be worrying about this. I don't want to be worrying about that. The monitor battery went out, the camera battery, the gimbal's low. I want to make sure I could shoot unobstructed and focus on what I need to. And this gives me that capability. So here's the footage in real time. It's going to look a little choppy when the kite comes back because the shutter speed is going to be for 60 frames. But this is it. I mean, you be the judge. Do you think it looks smooth? Do you think you could improve your shooting with this setup? I mean, 4 hours straight of shooting on a gimbal, that's a lot. That'll wear you out. I was still worn out with this setup, but I know that it would have been a lot worse if I did everything without the EasyRig. So let me know your thoughts, your opinions. Also, let me know what you think of the highlight video I did. Shot it and I did the edit myself, slapped it together. There's no stabilization in any of the footage, so it's straight out of camera in regards to steadiness. So yeah, you be the judge. Here's our audio recorder for the on-stage speakers. It is a Zoom F6, which is 32-bit flow. Everything sounded great when we tested, but like always, they cranked it up and made everything peak. If this wasn't a 32-bit float recorder, we would have had a lot of problems. So what I'm going to show you next is a little screenshot of what it looked like. It was bad. You can see all the red. That is not recoverable normally. If you were doing 24-bit recording or whatever else below that, you would have had issues. You would have been SOL. I mean, it would have been really bad. But with 32-bit float, I was able to bring everything back down and actually save the footage and the audio. This is my setup. The gimbal's actually on right now, so you see it reacting. I'm going to go through in as much detail as I can. A lot of people ask me to be very detail oriented because they may not be privy to some of the things and why I do certain choices. The main reason this is set up the way it is I don't use this handheld with this setup. There's a lot of weight. There's a huge monitor right there. That's the Shinobi or the Shogun 7 Connect. Get the Shinobi mixed up with the Shogun. So this is the one that records and transmits and has all the connections to Frame.io and things like that. So I have the big monitor there. I like a big monitor because it just makes things easier. You get framing better, you get a lot more on the screen. This is a high bright, so in sunlight, it works really great. Is it overkill? Yes. I mean, look at it compared to my hand. Uh, it's quite big, and height-wise, it's almost touching the table there when it's tilted down. But this works out really well. This is powered by a V-mount battery that is here. The battery is really low, so I may have to swap it, but I don't feel like doing it, so we'll see if it lasts. And let me turn everything around. Oh, there we go. And you could see my rat's nest right here. So needs to just slightly adjust that. But anyways, so we have the V-mount battery here, and we have a D-tap cable that's running the full length here, coming down and connecting right there, powering the monitor. This is an ultra thin HDMI cable. Get ultra thin, guys. Don't use clunky ones if you can avoid it. A lot of people pull out these things and I claim them to be water hoses, yanking on their gimbal. So when they're shooting, it's like doing this the whole time and they're just going to have problems. Don't do that. So HDMI going up, and then I also have two USB-A's coming off the battery, the V-mount battery. One is going to the camera. The other is running down and is actually topping off the gimbal. So I shot all night last night and the battery is completely full on the gimbal. Is it necessary? The batteries do last a long time, but the problem is over time, when you put them to work, you'll start getting really low and you'll realize, uh-oh, I'm out of battery, and then you're not going to be able to top this off. And instead of having a whole nother battery to swap to, which yes, I can do that, I just run the V mount. This helps a lot. So the camera one goes up, comes through here, and is topping off the camera. I also have the focus or zoom mode, or whatever you put it on. And then this right here powers it. So it's going straight to the gimbal and powers it right there. And then I have time code. Why do I have time code to do B-roll for event coverage? Well, I had audio being captured in the back of the room. So I actually had a recorder, and that was helping sync my camera with the times when they were talking, because we may be able to pull cuts that are amazing points where they're talking about something really great and we could cut to the B-roll of that happening. So that's really cool. It's synced up. I don't have to worry about, hopefully I got the audio, because you could be in the back of the room and getting someone giggling and laughing and saying something else in the middle of you trying to capture that, or something happens and it's almost impossible to sync. It's just adding more time. So that's the Deity TC1 time code box. And then this I just threw on. I didn't feel like getting it on there perfect, but that's the time code adapter for the FX3. Settings wise, I like very slow follow speed. Some people like it quicker and more responsive. I'm not doing fast movements. I do really slow movements. I love it to be very slow. So when you see this move, it's very slow. It's tilting up right now. I mean, it is very slow. You can see it coming back. It's very, very slow. That's my preference. So coming up here, you have the power and everything coming into the side here. So this is the power connection. This is time code, and this is the HDMI. Works out really well. It's a really nice setup. And all I have to do battery wise for the most part is just switch this guy out. So I pop out the D-tap, pop out the two USB-A's, and I click in a battery. This setup, it helps. I shot 4 hours with the EasyRig Vario 5 with Stabil G2. And this gimbal setup, and it was flawless. I really enjoy it. It makes it quick and easy. I could go hands-free if needed to do certain adjustments, but you can just see there. I mean, look how great that looks. I'm parallaxing right there, and it's just butter smooth. And honestly, you may have to do super micro adjustments to stabilize just a teeny bit if you need to, but a lot of times straight out of camera, it's ready to go. And that's what makes it great for my clients, to be able to deliver something straight out of camera where they don't have to fight it too much or mess with it too much. They'll call me back, versus someone else that's just jerky, shaky, or getting tired. I mean, 4 hours on a gimbal, get out of here. That's tough. I don't care how good you are. That's a lot of work. And I do high volume shooting. I get a ton of shots, and that's what my clients expect. So that's that setup. Thank you so much.